Hello Internet, today we are relearning how to use the dyno. Where is it? So right now we're gonna just go ahead and lift the car and then get it set up. So you guys don't need to see this part, you'll see the rest.
Being right-handed, I do the same. This is one of my techniques, is I take this and I use my knee to kind of help me get my hands available. Now, if you've ever had auto shop, one of the things that you're told is to never get your body under the vehicle. Yeah. So technically my leg is under the vehicle. So once I've got these started, I'll move my leg out of the way. If you had a jack failure, you wouldn't want this coming down and just destroying your leg. So you start with it like that, drop the slot in, and get a lug nut going, and spin it in until you have a little bit of movement, but you don't want it jumping out of the groove. Okay? Then come over on opposite side, pop it in, bring it up. And what these do is these self-center. So we get it to where they're still kind of loose. Now I can take my knee out of the way. Now I can start doing the rest of it. So notice none of them are tight, but they're pretty lined up. You see how they're dropping right in the groove? Yeah. The taper is what's going to actually line everything up. So now that I've got them here, and I can move this, I'm going to move in this, and I'm going to turn each one of these about a quarter of a turn.
And it will essentially
it's going to auto-center itself. Now, if you go and start using impact tools on this, it's going to ruin the faces of these edges. It's going to flare the edges, and it'll make these lug nuts very hard to go in. Yeah. So this is the ideal thing. This is the setup. So okay, so now that we're at this stage, you can do one of two things. Somebody can get on the brakes. If you're doing it by yourself, you could put an adjustable wrench here and tighten it like this. And this works just fine. You just got to remember, you're gonna put a little mark wherever this wrench is. Now, because we got this weird lug nut, you're gonna need to get on the brake, because I need to. Plus, I do like the brake better. I feel like I get better tightening on it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
You ready? Yep. All right. Yeah, I can give just a tiny bit more.
And these are all hand tight. You don't have to impact them.
No,
well, you should
never impact them. No, exactly.
But you can impact it out.
You can grab your impact and take them off, but you're going to have a little bit of a hard time because you see this giant bearing. It's kind of in the way of any kind of wrench. Okay, let go now. So now this is the stage. This is the part where technique comes in, and just time and technique, where you're gonna have to practice doing this. Okay. Yeah. So I bring this up. I keep looking, and now see, I could probably, if I push down on it, get it to go in. Now, you don't want to do that. You always want it to be back on its back wheel. So you bring the jack up just a little bit until it slides in. So let's try again. Don't push from that side. You'll only push from this side. Gotcha. So you can test your height by seeing.
Okay. I have to drop it a little bit.
I went up just a tiny bit. That may be too low. Okay, so when you feel it do this, when you feel it roll right across it without dropping down, you're at the right height. Now, this is about to happen. This never happens. Okay, that's going right on without putting the wrench on it. That never happens. So, but what you would do is you'd put the wrench on and you'd turn it this way and that. But you can see, by getting the height right, it will slide right on. If the height is wrong, it won't do that. So now leave this at this height, and then we do the other side. You see them tip in? Yeah. When they're tipped in, now the dyno, the leading edge of the dyno is on the concrete. It can't go anywhere. So that was one of the fears that some guys have had in the past of, well, can the car come off the dyno? No, it's attached now. It's no different than a set of wheels being on it or wherever.
Pretty much set up right now. We're just putting the fans in, and then we're gonna start running. So far so good. We're learning a lot.
and they're very tight, and they'll clean themselves as you load them in and out. On, off. What that's for is when you have a vehicle with a Haldex center diff, the Haldex wants to control the wheel speeds to the passive wheels. What I mean by passive is a Nissan GTR is effectively a rear-wheel drive car that has a Haldex controlling the front. So in this case, if you were going to do a GTR, you'd flip this drive switch on the front pods, you'd have the fronts plugged into here, you'd flip that to off. So this is the screen you're going to be presented with when you first turn it on. When I turn this on, and you hear the fan come on, I can come in here and tell it, I want to see what power it is. There. What all of these have in common, they may be completely different tests, you may have done all kinds of different things, but what they may, in a perfect world, they're virtually the same, but they are slightly different. It won't let you exceed 3,000. The idea initially is to hit temperature in the car. All the way. We got two versions going. So this is our thing. But if I go page up, page down, I can look at other things, data. I can look at, if we were using our air-fuel ratio meters, I can see it there. This is acceleration and G-force. There's a lot of these screens you're never going to use, but they're there. So then you're going to go in, and if you've never done the car before, you're going to go to folders, you're going to create the folder, and then you're going to go into the setup screen. You're going to tell it what RPMs you want to operate at. So you can't forget to do this screen because it's going to take you to this screen. Okay. And in this case, because we have these numbers loaded up, it said, "Would you like these?" You say no. You can actually save this gear, twin turbo V8 making monster power, the Tesla. Put it in heavy. Light is a normally aspirated Civic that the guy's got a standalone ECU and it barely runs. Custom is kind of in between. I always run everything at 500 unless I get a car on there that just make a big power. Yeah, 500 horsepower. And when you're doing the run, you're just like, and I can hide live, red. Boom. I've not deleted it. I've just hidden it. I can hide dotted red, and I could hide live green.
Alright folks, so that ends our day of learning relearning how to use the Dynapack. So everything's good. For me, it was kind of relearning or reaffirming what I already knew. For Ryan back there, it's his first day of learning how to use it. It's certainly a lot easier than he thought it was. It just looks complicated, but everything should be smooth sailing there, and we should be able to dyno more of our project cars with more efficiency now. There's more of us, I know. So if you like this somewhat short video, educational, like and comment, subscribe, hit the link below to win your EK, and we'll see you next time.